We are live. We are live. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are live. And tonight, I have a question for you. Have you been frustrated? Have you been discouraged? Are you at the place of wanting to give up and quit your YouTube channel because things are just not going the way you thought they were going to turn? Well, tonight, I want to share with you my tips, my thoughts on what you need to do on keep going with your YouTube channel and stick to your goals. Stick to the fundamentals of what you know, what you're bringing to the table to your audience. And we're starting, yeah. Hey, praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle. I'm your host, Walter Strong, where we're here to be able to bring some encouragement to you tonight, helping working class content creators to grow on their channel, to get more views, and to make money online. And so if you're new here tonight, let me know in the chat where you're watching me from. Give me a hashtag team live. And if you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag team replay in the comment section. Want to say good evening to my good man, tech troublemaker in the live chat tonight. And those of you who will be joining us, tonight we're just going to just kick it. No formal presentation tonight. We're just going to share some thoughts. We're going to share some tips just to keep you encouraged. Hey, this live stream tonight may just be for myself and tech. You'll just be listening in just to encourage myself. And so tonight, like I said, we want to talk about how to keep going, how to not quit your YouTube channel and the goals and the dreams that you have, what you put this thing together for, despite the period of low views you may be going through. And so, hey, let's get into the content. Let's have this conversation. Let me just share some needed information here. When you think about when people get to a place where they're frustrated, where they're discouraged, and even to the place where they want to quit, they really are passionate and wanting to see something through, but just things are just not turning and going in the direction that they think it should go. What causes individuals to get to that point of wanting to quit? And I really thought about this question, and I reflected upon my own life in periods of time where I felt the most, where I wanted to quit and to give up and just walk away. And I had to go back to my young adult years, being in school. For those of you who may not know, I was a high school dropout. I dropped out in the ninth grade. When I dropped out of the ninth grade, technically I should have been in the 12th grade. So by me dropping out in the ninth grade, I was 3 grades behind. And part of the challenges, some of the challenges that I have living and growing up in the city of Detroit, at that time, there was not a real focus on helping young people have an academic vision for their future and wanting to be successful. And unfortunately, coming from a household where my parents loved me, but the mindset was just go to school and get an education, just do the best you can. And they didn't really have too much faith in the education system themselves. And so I didn't see that encouragement to sit down with me and to go over my homework and to find out the things where I was struggling in. And I think where I really began to have my struggles was when I got to the 6th grade. When you go through that transition year from elementary to now, for us, elementary, it ended at the 5th grade, and then we went into what they called junior high. So junior high for in Detroit was 6th through 8th, and then high school was from 9th through 12th. So when I got to that transition period, that's when I began to hit that wall and begin to struggle and not be focused in class, not focused on my classwork and things like that. And as a result, I began to, fall behind, and I began to procrastinate in doing schoolwork, and I just got to the point where I got discouraged. I focused on all the wrong things instead of focusing on the right things. Was my parents talking to me? You got to turn these grades around. Yeah, they were talking to me. They were talking, but there was no action behind the talking to really, sit down with me and find out what was the root problem. And before I know it, I was left behind in the 6th grade. And so I had to do the 6th grade over. I meet, people saying, "Oh, you got to go to summer school." Summer school in Detroit time, growing up in like now in the East Coast, it's close to 90 to 100 degrees. There was no air conditioning in school. So schools were not really too open to letting students do makeup grades during the summer. So now I start the fall. I'm a year behind. My friends have moved ahead of me, of my peers, and now the embarrassment of having to take a class over starts to set in. The feeling of shame begins to set in. Though I'm taking my classes, I'm doing my work, and the discouragement begins to set in. But I'm doing my work, and I'm trying to keep going, just like how we tell one another on YouTube. I know things are tough right now. I know the views are low right now. You'll see how I'm going to tie this together. Just keep on making videos. Just keep on making videos. Just keep working on your thumbnails. Keep working on your titles. Keep coming up with great content, topic ideas, so the algorithm will get you in front of the right audience. To keep doing all those things that we keep encouraging one another. And these are some sound practical advices, but at the same time, you're having this inner battle, you're having this inner struggle and getting frustrated. You're working a 9 to 5 job, and you're frustrated because things are going on in your job. You feel like your boss has it in for you, because you're not meeting certain performance expectations and job requirements. And so then you get on YouTube, and you're trying to make not just one piece of content, but make a series of contents with the hopes that, hey, it's going to connect. You're going to put together your next live stream, but yet you're still going through the battle. So I was fortunate to pass the 6th grade and move to the 7th, and then that was my next hurdle of the 7th grade, moving from one neighborhood to the next, and experiencing bullying. And these two individuals that so happen to be brothers, I guess, begin to zero in on me. And because I was not the type of person who really liked confrontation and fighting, I just tried to fight to survive the best I can, to just get people off me. They really laid in on me, and the bullying and the intimidation really kicked in. And I didn't really feel comfortable in who I could go to in terms of a teacher or a principal or something, or a staff member. And my mom's just noticed more and more I wasn't going to school. I wasn't getting up in the morning, and she was kind of going through some things herself, going through some battles within her relationship with my dad. And before I know it, I'm behind in the 7th grade, and now I'm 2 grades behind. Eventually we moved into a new neighborhood, changed scenery. I began to explain to her in terms of what was going on in terms of the bullying. So she felt the answer was, okay, let's just kind of move back to our old neighborhood, get back into the same area you was in, and okay, take the 7th grade over. Boom, passed. Time for the 8th grade, no problem. Now it's time for that transition again. And again, going from junior high to high school, now having to catch a bus, and all my so-called friends and peers, who are basically all up to almost close to the 11th or the 12th grade. Here I'm in the 9th grade, and again, the struggle. You say, how does this tie into YouTube? YouTube has been really doing some changes to the platform. YouTube has really been doing some changes in terms of what it takes for a video to be considered quality content that will get views, that will get clicks. YouTube has really been doing some changes. Well, here's a couple of examples that I've seen. If you come up with some more, you let me know in the chat for me. Well, one particular change that I really become really aware of is when you look at your homepage. Unless you adjust the zoom range on your homepage of your YouTube channel, only 3 videos across come up. Only 3 videos per row. And so when you look at the first 2 rows, there's only 3 videos. Now, those 3 to 6 videos many years ago used to be almost 4 to 6 videos. 4 to 6 videos. So there was more opportunities for you to see more potential videos that you could watch. And some of these videos that you saw then and what you see now are mostly the videos that you watch the most, that come from your viewing habits and your viewing pattern. So for me personally, I listen to a lot of Charles Stanley, his past sermons that he's preached in the past. So I'm going to see 1 to 2 videos within those first 6 videos. That's from Charles Stanley. And then you take some music songs that I've listened to that will pop up in a playlist of songs that I can listen to. And then you take, if I watch Tech, who's in the chat tonight, I've watched his live streams periodically from time to time. Well, guess what? One of those videos will be his or somewhere else I'm subscribed. Here's my point, where 5 to 6 years ago, where there was 6 videos per row, that's about 12 in the 2 rows. It's now decreased 50% for the content creators to be able to grab my attention and for me to click on their videos. Take it a step further. Now with YouTube TV and the format of watching videos on your HD television, the format in terms of how you can be able to see what videos you want, it's, instead of it being 2 to 3 rows, in some cases it's 1 row that you have to kind of scroll. You see the missed opportunities that we as content creators, or not miss, but the lack of opportunities for us to be able to get on someone's homepage. And then you look at the changes and the adjustments in the recommendation section of videos. YouTube is changing. YouTube, and I get it. It's changing in such a way for the viewer experience. They're not making these changes so much for our benefit. They're making these changes for us as viewers, for the viewers' benefit. But for the content creator who goes through the changes and through the adjustments, it begins to provide some insight, I believe, why views are down on our channel. And if we are not careful, and if I am not careful, because I've had to deal with this from time to time, not to take things so personal that things are not performing as well as I thought they should, or videos are not performing as well as I would hope they would. And as a result, you take the changes and the adjustments of YouTube, you add that with the changes and the adjustment, what's going on in everyday life and society with rent and mortgages being high, with your salary and your income not keeping up with inflation and high gas prices. We're in a country that right now that's in the midst of a war, and you look at other things, and as a result, it can discourage you. It can frustrate you to the point where you're like, man, can I keep going on this YouTube channel, especially the way things are turning out? And the response that I would share with you is take a step back. If I was going to make my first tip, my first point, take a step back and don't react off of your emotions. Think about this. We are encouraged as adults not to make rash decisions based upon emotional feelings that we have at that moment, because sometimes if we end up making a decision that can really not just impact us just for the moment, but can end up having a negative impact on us down the road, that decision can end up being harmful to us and causing us to lose a lot of opportunities and promise with our YouTube channels, and most importantly, how it impacts our audience. How it impacts our audience, that now where we've built trust, we've built a community, we've built relationships, and now to make a decision based upon emotions instead of stepping back and just pushing away from the table just to collect your thoughts and just to put things in perspective, that rash decision based upon emotions could end up having you prematurely walking away from your YouTube channel. And I know it's true because when I began to go into the YouTube search bar and begin to search on videos on the topic about why people get frustrated and give up and quit, I see a ton of videos that have been made by tons of other creators. Don't quit. Don't quit. Keep going. Keep posting. Keep posting. Keep uploading. It's a topic that is really real and relevant on YouTube, especially with all these changes. And so, before I give you the YouTube advice and say, "Oh, it's your thumbnails. It's your thumbnails. Oh, it's your topic. Your hook is just not clicking," and that could possibly be. But before I make another video on sharing all those things, and you're going through all these internal battles that we don't really share with other content creators because we feel that they're just too busy to want to hear our story. We say we want to build collaboration. We say we want to connect with one another. But because we are working a 9-to-5 job, because we have family responsibilities, and because we're kind of consumed in our own universe and our own world, we feel like, hey, we are on the island of isolation. And so before you make that decision to walk away and to just quit your YouTube channel and stop posting, take a moment and take a step back. Now, once you take a moment and step back, I want you to, instead of trying to take a moment and to take a break and to start coming up with content topics and ideas for your next video, because I've done it tons of times, go somewhere you haven't been in a while that you would really enjoy, and just put YouTube on pause for 24 hours or 48 hours or for a week. Just put it on pause. Just yesterday, my family, they wanted me to go with them to this this church event where there were going to be several praise and worship music ministries and artists doing a live performance on Jones Beach out here in Long Island, New York. And at first I was I've had a hard day at work. I'm tired. I really want to. I haven't even worked on putting something together for my live stream tonight. And I kept trying to come up with all these excuses why I shouldn't go. And then finally I said, Walter, just go. Just go. Just go. And just YouTube will be here when you get back. YouTube will be here when you get back. And I went by the beach. It was so crowded at this event It was so crowded at this event that we couldn't even get in to close to the stage. I think my daughter was able to get in with some friends of hers that she saw that was there. Me and my wife, we just sat on the boardwalk. We brought our chairs and we sat on the boardwalk and had a nice cool breeze. So when, of course, when you're closer to the water and by the beach and everything, it was like close to almost like 100 degrees yesterday. And being by the water, it felt like it was about 80 to 75 degrees, and you could feel the breeze. And just to sit there and to enjoy the beach and the breeze, and to just all of the stresses and the drama that's going on in my life. And so my point is, find a time where you can go somewhere that you've enjoyed going before, but you just felt like I'm just too busy to do it. So that way you can just kind of just detox from all that negative energy, that negative frustration. Detox from all, however, that you're feeling towards your YouTube channel and some of the things that you're going through. I want to get to this comment. I think I started. Where did I start? For a minute. Take these off. Just start. Tech had a comment. What do I do with it? I'm gonna find it. Okay, well, Tech has been saying a couple of things here in the chat. Let's see what he has to say, because I'm just on a roll tonight. Tech says, he says, I have never wanted to quit, but I have wanted to just change everything and change everything out and just to keep it going. You know what? That's another great point, Tech. That's another great point. Sometimes you may not want to quit, but all what you've built, your brand and all what you've built with the channel, you just want to just say, hey, look, I'm just going to just take this and just completely revamp it. And that sometimes can be a good approach to do. However, when you've kind of built so much equity within the brand of your channel, it can be a challenge. You know, I think when I stopped on this channel for a period of time, again, it was not my intentions to go 2 years. But I had gotten merch. I had built t-shirts and stuff, and people were starting to identify with my brand through my t-shirts and everything, and understanding about what my channel was about. People may not necessarily knew who my name was through online content online, but they knew about the huddle. They knew about, in terms of the momentum that the channel was getting in its very early stages of being able to collaborate with some established big content creators. And we've kind of had that conversation before about collaborating with larger content creators, but I was fortunate to do that. But then to take and make the decision just to change everything, that's a serious thought you have to really take. And sometimes you may have to make some adjustments based on the evolution of your YouTube channel. If your YouTube channel initially started out with making or providing tech reviews and tech news, and then you evolve into now becoming a channel that talks about YouTube news, the latest YouTube education and features and benefits of the platform, and how to help people grow. If you've evolved from that, I believe you then have to kind of look at the channel name, because I think the channel name, when people search for our channels online, it should be easy for them to find. And so if a person that's new to our channel and they're trying to find us, if they come across us for the first time and they see, you know, one of the struggles I had earlier with the channel was should I drop the name The Huddle and just be Walter Strong the third? The YouTube channel would be called Walter Strong the third. And I struggled with that for a very long time, because initially when I came up with the idea for The Huddle, the concept came from football. Because when you watch football players or basketball players, they huddle, all 11 to 12 men, they huddle on the field before they snap the ball and run the next play. But what attracted me more to the huddle was watching 53 players before they hit the field, and you would see them huddle together, encourage one another, even if they are the visiting team and they are in the opponent's stadium and they have over 60,000 people rooting against them. You would see those same 53 players, offense and defense and special teams, encourage one another, remind one another on the importance of why they were going to stop the opponent, win the game, and win their individual battles in their positions that ultimately will lead them to victory. And I saw so many videos on that, and I said, I need to create something that brings people together, that huddles content creators together to encourage them that we can win on this platform, just as we see others win and become successful. And success and winning can be different from all of us, but we're ultimately pulling one another together. And so because I had that ingrained in me, I always kept the huddle with Walter Strong the third. So yes, Tech, you do have to consider that. You do have to consider, before changing your channel, you have to, everything that you built, are you going to turn around and just kind of just change that like that? That's a great point, because you may not be the person who wants to give up and to quit and walk away, but yet you've just, and I view that sometimes. And again, if you're kind of doing this based out of your emotions and your feelings, it's like taking a sledgehammer to everything that you've built, the walls, the structure, the frame, the windows, and you just go to town and you just, like a home improvement person, and you just begin to rip everything up to just renovate everything, when it may not necessarily be the case in renovating and demolishing everything. That may not necessarily be the case. And so, as Tech says, you can think about it, but is it the best decision? Because at the end of the day, I've said it, you may have said it, others have said it. YouTube truly is a marathon. It's a marathon. People in marathons sometimes don't finish the race. That marathon race, that 5K race that they run, but they don't necessarily quit and give up just because they didn't finish the race. Or if they finished the race and the time was just so far behind of the top 5 runners, they don't just quit and give up and just redo everything. Ultimately, they assess and say, okay, take a moment, step back, let's see why this didn't work. Let's get ready for the next marathon. Great point. Hey, we've been talking about tonight just tips and thoughts on how to encourage you to keep going on your channel, though views are low, and you don't get discouraged and quit and give up on your YouTube channel, because you've built trust with your audience. You've built community with your audience. Do me a favor, click that like button for me. If you're watching me live tonight, click that thumbs up. Share this on your favorite social media platform. Let me know in the chat where you're watching me from. Give me a hashtag Team Y, which another point I want to talk about tonight is, live streaming. When you're live streaming and you're new to this, or you've been doing it for a while and you've been going through a period where you just are not getting the audience to be able to find your live streams. You know, you I'm quite sure if you look at your homepage, your tabs, you will see a tab that says all. It'll say, the different things that you've watched. And in particularly, one of the things that it will say in most cases is if you're watching live streams, it'll have a live tab. And you click on that live tab, and what you will find is a series of people that you are subscribed to or people you are not subscribed to who are live at that moment. And as you begin to browse and to look, you begin to see, okay, is this something I want to watch as a viewer? And if the person is live, if they are fortunate to get you to click and to join the live stream live and to participate in the chat, that begins to allow the content creator to engage in dialogue and have a meaningful conversation with you as the viewer. But what happens when there's just no viewers showing up? How do you deal with that? Do you just go and try another strategy, like maybe going where the audience is and multi-streaming onto different platforms? I thought about it for the last 2 weeks. Maybe should I go ahead and try and live stream, not just on YouTube, but on LinkedIn? Go live stream on Facebook, especially when I have a large count of quote unquote friends on Facebook, followers or connections on LinkedIn, followers on IG. So multi-stream. In some cases, yes, that could be the answer. But what I've come to the conclusion, maybe I'm being stubborn. Maybe I'm being stubborn about this, is that when I look at particular Facebook and these platforms there, first of all, they don't want us as content creators pulling people from their platform to come over to YouTube. Then their algorithm is not going to be working to let me and you do that. Then they're not going to be letting us do that. Secondly, though there is an audience of people, is the audience of people that we are quote unquote friends with individuals interested in our type of content on YouTube? A lot of individuals that we may be friends with on YouTube or connected with are maybe friends or business acquaintances through business relationships that we have on LinkedIn, or friends who are only just strictly interested in terms of the latest birthday, the latest anniversary, the latest personal event, or photos or pictures that you had dinner with. That's what they're interested in. If the content of videos are not truly coming from Facebook is not going to give us that reach to keep the live stream in front of people on our Facebook page. And so that's the reason why I've kind of pushed back for multi-streaming, even though, like I said, I understand the thought process is you go where your audience is with the hopes that you will find. But at the same time, that amount of energy and effort that I'm putting in, if I am fortunate to get maybe 10 to 20 people to participate in a live stream, managing the different responses that are in the live chat to acknowledge people. I'm real big on acknowledging people, especially when an individual takes time out their schedule to be a part of my live stream, or just scrolling by and they find the live stream and they decide to stick around for a period of time just to listen to what I have to say. I'm real big on acknowledging. And so multi-streaming is not so much, I believe, the answer in some cases with this YouTube channel. Now, that may be different with your YouTube channel. That may be different. But for me, until I can see some different things from a different perspective, I kind of stay away from that. And so how do you deal with, low participation and engagement? I try to see it from the perspective that right now that this is just a dress rehearsal. Not everyone comes to a dancer who's going to be dancing at a recital in front of 500 people into those practices and rehearsals that they have to have. They don't come to their practices. They don't come to their rehearsals. And so I try to see a live stream like this tonight as a dress rehearsal. It's a dress rehearsal. It's an opportunity to do some things right and make some mistakes and learn from the mistakes and learn how to get better to use the software that I'm using. So that way, though I'm going through this period of not a scary. I can't say the word right now where I'm not in the spotlight. I'm in a period right now where no one knows who I am on YouTube from a broader audience. No one really knows who the Huddle is with Walter Strong III from a broader audience, from a macro audience. But there will come a time, and I believe it with all my heart, as long as I keep going, as long as I'm willing to experiment, as long as I'm willing to have a growth mindset and to learn how to leverage AI technology in a way that will help me buy back my time, that broader audience will ultimately come to find out about the Huddle. And I think that's when people say, oh, you are an overnight success. Nah, not an overnight success, because I've been doing this for a while. I was just watching a video, I think media video, with a person that they had on the channel, and they said, they're only in their first or second year of really where the channel was blown up, and they're really now getting all these views and subscribers. But they had been on YouTube, on the platform, creating content for over 7 years. And it was crickets. It was crickets for them. Their channel and their name wasn't known with the Sean Cannells and the Nick Nimmons and the Brian G. Johnsons, and others that we know, or who you may watch. Their name wasn't up and rubbing elbows with them, being with the Duro Eves at Vit Summit or VidCon. But as they kept going and as they kept learning, while working a 9-to-5 job, they made it a point to stress that they were still working a 9-to-5 job. They were freelancing. They had clients. They had to pay bills. Still trying to grow a YouTube channel. And eventually, after that 6th year, things begin to turn around. And I said, okay, that's an encouragement. I've been on this channel for 5 years, of which 2 of those 5 years I stepped away. And now I'm back in the saddle. And so, though I may be talking to a live audience of no one right now, I always try to keep in mind, first of all, my replay viewers who will watch this later, at some point or a certain part of this live stream that you may be watching at this moment, that you may say, yeah, I can identify with what you're saying, Walt. I can identify. Now, I think it's also important to understand that sometimes the reason why you may not have any viewers watching you live, it may be because you forgot to publish your live stream, and you have it either unlisted or private. I need you to think about that. You say, "Oh, I would never make that mistake." Yeah. You said you would never make the mistake. Have the live stream nightmare. I don't call them mistakes. I call it live stream nightmares. You said you would never have the live stream nightmare of never muting yourself. Hashtag mute in the chat for me. Hashtag mute in the chat if you've done that before. Hashtag mute in the comment section if you've done that before. You've had that live. So if you've had that live stream nightmare of muting yourself, excuse me, you've probably had that live stream nightmare of not publishing the live stream. You clearly have it unlisted and you are on fire, running through your runner show. You're hitting your points you are feeling this 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 content, that this story that you are sharing with your audience, and how people are really going to benefit from this. And you're going to say, this is the video when it hits the replay after going live, that it's going to just bring down the house, but no one is watching. And that's because you've made the live stream nightmare of having an unlisted live stream. I've done it. I've done it. I have done it. And people are like sending me DMs. My phone is going, and I'm not even paying attention. I hear it, but I'm not even looking at it because I'm trying to stay focused. I am so focused on wanting to get this right so that this will be the live stream. This will be the replay live stream that will connect with an audience, that will get the YouTube algorithm to say, boom, let me put you in front of this audience. And my existing audience is saying, we thought you was going to go live at such and such time. What happened? And I'm like, what do you mean what happened? And then I go and I find out that I had the video unlisted. And so that could be one of the reasons why you don't have any engagement. And so you learn from it. You learn from it, and you take that live stream and you fix it up and you turn it into a regular video and you publish it and you learn from it. And if it gets you some views through the replay, good. But now you're better armed going forward in future live streams, whether not to mute yourself or not to have your live stream on private or unlisted. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this episode of The Huddle tonight, click that like button for me, hit that thumbs up, share this on your favorite social media platform. If you're new to The Huddle, that you come across this channel and you find that this content is very valuable to you as a working class content creator who wants to grow their channel, though you're working a 9-to-5 job, you have family responsibilities, but yet you want to get more views and make money online, subscribe to the channel and click the alert notification button and be a part of the conversation of the Huddle community, where we encourage one another to stay motivated, stay consistent, and stay disciplined. And so, yeah, keep going. Take a moment, step back, and look at, instead of, we talked about in terms of, instead of just quitting and giving up, don't be so quick to want to just redo everything, especially when you've kind of established the brand name. Because once you establish a brand name and a brand message, YouTube kind of has us in their data of trying to find people for our channel. And so we start now completely revamping and changing. Now, if this is not, and I think this is another important part, if you feel that this is just not something you enjoy doing anymore, maybe you want to keep your name. I've thought about this too. Maybe you want to keep your name of your channel, but you just want to completely do different content, and you just don't want to start doing and going through the process of starting a new YouTube channel all over again. You don't want to do it. Okay. Hey, it's your YouTube channel. It's your YouTube channel. Don't let the experts talk you into doing something you just don't want to do. I'm not going to talk you into doing something you don't want to do. If that's not what you want to do, and you want to start over and create, you want to do vlog channel, you want to do vlogs on your videos, on your channel, even though it's completely different from what you've done, do it. Do it. You want to start a podcast on, how to podcast and bring podcast guests on, how to get podcast hosting, though that your content that you've made over the last 6 months to a year is not reflective of that, but that's what you want to do, then do it. But I would also say, just weigh the other consideration of, to help put you in the best position of your channel being successful, and maybe possibly starting a new YouTube channel. And yes, you say, well, I'm starting at the end of the line. Yeah, we all got to start at zero. We all have to start at zero. But when you start over, yeah, I think we need to keep in mind that starting over to go into a new niche that you are passionate about, that you care about, that you see is sustainable over the next 3 to 5 years, do it. Starting a new channel in a new niche, making new content because you're proficient at it. You're good at it. What you're talking about, you know it. You experienced it. You know how to do it. You're just not talking about something that you read, something that you watch from someone else. You know how to do it. Then start a new YouTube channel. Not only that, but you have and you see the potential where you can begin to make money from this. And so that may be something you want to consider in starting a new YouTube channel. You understand the market, the demand, how competitive that niche is. You see the competitiveness and the demand and the market for it. If there's a low demand for viewers wanting that, you may want to pump the brakes on that and maybe keep what you're making on your YouTube channel. Yes, you risk where you're kind of mixing things together. You're starting to make content on one topic and you're risking certain things to happen. And okay, what happens if this takes off? And you start to your videos start to take off on podcasting, where you've been making content on this other thing that you've been making and you're not in love with it. But then when it comes to your podcast viewers, YouTube is not showing other videos that's related to it. They're sharing and showing them other past videos. And so you have to consider that if you're going to just completely, just like tech says, don't quit, but just kind of renovate everything and redo everything, because then you're going to have YouTube showing other different types of content instead of your follow-up content. And I think that can slow down the growth. Not saying that it can't work. It's just going to be a slower and harder process. And I think that's, again, one of the reasons why sometimes the experts will say, start a new channel. So take that in consideration. Take that in consideration. Most importantly, it's got to be something you love doing. And when I say love doing not in the sense of from a hobby aspect, but you love doing it because you see a value in helping improving the quality of someone else's life. I'm a real big believer in that. I'm not against someone who creates content from a hobby, though I see that my viewpoint of it is, and my viewpoint is not necessarily important. If that's what you want to do, it can be an expensive hobby. And so when I make money from my salary and I pay for services like StreamYard and I pay for services for other online equipment to help me to go live and Canva with graphic designs, there's something, an ROI I want to get in return. I want to return on my investment. If at best I want to break even. And so yeah, kind of lost my thought there, but yeah, you want to be able to do this. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Making content that helps to improve the quality of people's lives. And because if we're doing that, if we're answering specific questions for viewers, then the casual viewer will become a part of the community. The casual viewer will be a subscriber. The casual viewer will ultimately become a paying customer for your products and services. So again, something to think about, on how to keep going on YouTube. Though right now you're getting low views, and last, yes, video packaging is becoming more and more important on YouTube. It's becoming more important. Video packaging, our topics, our thumbnails, our content topics and ideas, understanding the goal, why we're making this video, how this video is going to benefit a certain audience. This is becoming more and more important to help. It's almost like creating a separation from the haves and the have-nots, who have it, who don't have it, to be able to stand out from amongst the pack. I've heard, in particular, Sean Cannell say, the content creator who best understands his audience wins on YouTube. I believe there's a degree of truth to that. I do. I believe there's a degree of truth. When you best understand your audience and how you can best serve your audience and how you can put videos together, and whether it's those videos are live stream, shorts, or horizontal videos, when you best understand your audience, they will respond. They will respond. There are some people who don't make thumbnails to videos, and yet they get a ton of views. But I also believe it's because of the title, the topic. The title and the topic that grabs the viewers, because it's something that they're looking for. It's something that they're searching for. And so we have to, as best that we can, work on our video packaging. I'm still a work in progress. I know I am. I have yet to be able to say I've mastered video packaging at a level of, say, Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Hulu, or on YouTube. I've yet to get there. I'm still a work in progress. If you see low views on your channel, whereas you may have been getting, tons of views in the past, it's because a host of things that's causing the platform to change. YouTube algorithm updates, which those updates, again, are being driven by viewer watch history and viewer behavior. And it goes back to us best understanding our audience. Best understanding our audience. There are things like vidIQ and 1 of 10 and TubeBuddy and all different types of tools that say, or YouTube and say, this is the best time to publish a video for people to watch. I believe it's just it's a process of trial and error of when to post a video or when to go live, of finding the right time and moment. Timing is important. There is a time in a season. And so sometimes having content that becomes seasonal, or making content that is for a demographic of beginners, and then once you help them graduate to a certain level, they move on from your content, and then you end up having an influx of new beginners who want to learn about the same thing. And so seasonal content can play a part on why your channel and your videos are getting a ton of views one moment, and then now your views are down much later. But though that may be happening, stay focused on the fundamentals. Keep going and keeping focused on the goal of your channel. Keep going on your value proposition, on what you can deliver in the video, so when a person clicks on your video, they can get what you're talking about. They can get it. deliver on your promise. Don't promise someone one thing and then you completely deliver something else. That's clickbait, right? You said you were going to deliver this in the video. This is what your value proposition is. And then when the person gets into the video, 2-3 minutes into the video, you ain't talking about none of that. You do that enough time and people leave the video early enough, you'll see a dip in the video. And as a result, the video doesn't become as competitive with other videos on that same topic or video idea. And it's not being shown enough in front of people. And so, again, understanding these things and learning how to become masters at it. I believe, yes, there is a level of mastery that has to be attained on YouTube for our videos to be successful and to get more views. There's a level of mastery that we need to work on these videos because YouTube has become such a very crowded platform. Over 20 million videos are posted every day. And again, you go back to your homepage. If there's over 20 million videos, whether new or existing content creators, you go to your homepage and you open up your homepage, and instead of seeing 6 videos across, you only see 3 videos across. You go to 2 rows of 6 videos, and most of those videos are not going to be new content creators you don't know about. It's going to be the ones that who frequently watch the most, who you listen to the most. That's who you're going to see. And then depending on your watch history, you're going to see a ton of YouTube games or YouTube shorts on your channel. Now, if you're seeing that on your own YouTube channel, what do you think your audience is seeing? What do you think your audience is seeing? What do you think your audience is seeing if they're watching it on YouTube television? The creator who best understands his audience needs will connect with them. And despite these changes and despite these adjustments on YouTube, they will become a part of your community. And they'll say, hey, Tech Troublemaker is live tonight, Tuesday at 9 p.m. And he's going to be talking about some of his latest gear that he is using for his YouTube channel and how some of this gear could be of a benefit to those who watch him live. Building community. Hey, you're getting great value in this discussion tonight on just learning how to keep going and not quit despite the low views that you are experiencing on your YouTube channel. Like I said, tonight, I may be the main audience that I'm speaking to, and that's fine. That's fine. Sometimes you got to be able to enjoy your own good home cooking. You cook. If you're a cook and you cook your own meal, you got to be able to enjoy your own meal. If you're not enjoy your own meal and you're going to serve it to someone to eat, particularly yourself, you go, and you know there's too much salt. You know there's too much seasoning. You know this does not taste good. You ain't going to keep eating it. You're going to fix something else. But if you know how to cook, you may not know how to cook like an Iron Chef, like Bobby Flake, top chef. But you know how to cook. You're going to be like, yeah, I want to cook me something tonight. I want to cook me I want to cook me a little meat with a little pot roast. I want some potatoes and some mixed vegetables. Give me a little hot water cornbread. You go on, you go and sit down there and say, yeah, I want this tonight. I'm gonna put on my favorite television show. I'm gonna watch me some TV. I'm gonna enjoy my meal, and then I'm gonna save my leftovers and come back tomorrow for lunch to have my leftovers. Well, guess what? You gotta sometimes be your own audience. Encourage yourself. That's what this goal was tonight. I truly appreciate Tech jumping in and out on the live chat, popping in, and those who were just online, just listening and watching, passing through. I hope you gave me a thumbs up. Hope you were kind enough to share this live stream. And if you have joined for the first time and I've uh, said some things that you really enjoyed hearing and want to hear more, I hope you were willing to subscribe to the channel. And so that's the content tonight. The train has arrived in the station. And so we're going to bring this live stream to an end. And Sunday, we're going to be live. I'm thinking about going live about 6 p.m. instead of 8 p.m. because I want to spend some family time with the family. So we're going to be live 2 hours early. So we'll go live a different time. We'll see what type of audience engagement that we get, and we'll be on for about 30 to 45 minutes and go from there. And then I'll spend some quality family time with the family during this holiday weekend. And if you are in the U.S., enjoy your 4th of July celebration. You know, this 250 America. For those of you who want to celebrate America's 250 year and anniversary, hope you enjoy yourself, stay safe. And if you are not a fireworks expert and that is not your forte or especially, keep yourself off the news. Keep your fingers on your fingers and stay out of the emergency room and let the experts entertain you. God bless.